Welcome back to the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. Now, before we get started with my interview with Josh Olsen, please give us a like if you're watching this, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker, please give me a 5-star writer review, and also make sure to download this episode and other episodes as well. So, all right, let's get things started. So I have with us today an X Factor USA alum. I can't believe that show's been off the air for almost 8 years. I wish it wasn't off the air. He's also released his newest EP called The Beginning of the End, and he has over 20,000 followers on Instagram and growing. So please help me welcome Josh Olsen.
Hi, Jacob. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking time on your schedule to talk with me today.
It's my pleasure.
Awesome. So when did you I just got myself perfect. All right. So when did you get interested in music, and how did that passion evolve into the desire to pursue a career in the recording industry?
Music started really early on for me. My mother was a singer-songwriter, so I was kind of immersed into it at a really young age. I started writing my first song at the age of 5. And then started performing in front of audiences around 10 or 11 years old with my mom or at church. So that's kind of when the passion started, was real early on. And then it wasn't until later, probably with my twin brother performing and doing the show, The X Factor, that I was like, you know what? I knew from a young age that I was going to do music, but I think once we did that show, The X Factor, it showed me, okay, this is what I want to pursue as far as I can possibly take it. That's how I got started.
Awesome. So who are the artists and musicians that influence your sound, and why do they make a big impact on you?
I'm such a melting pot of so many different artists. Growing up, I listened to a lot of Coldplay. I listened to a lot of One Republic. I listened to Maroon 5. They definitely I have some rock kind of pop influences, but I also love stuff like Al Green and John Legend and kind of that more soulful side too. So it kind of, they affected a little bit. I always like to tell people I'm a melting pot of many different artists. so yeah.
That's great. I think the music industry, from what I've been seeing, there's a lot of art and the artists I've been talking to on my podcast and over the past 9 years. There have been a lot of artists that says that they've have multiple varieties from different musical genres. And I think that's fabulous.
Yeah. I think we are all sponges of everything we hear. So from a really young age, I'm just taking in all of those different artists that I hear, and that's what makes my sound.
Okay, so 9 years ago, you and your brother Jeremiah auditioned for the sophomore season of the defunct X Factor USA. Why did you decide to audition for the show? And then also, I was looking at the YouTube video, and you made a very huge impression on then Judge Britney Spears. So can you please share the X Factor experience with my audience?
Yeah, we got contacted. We were during that time doing a lot of YouTube videos, and I think the X Factor found us on YouTube. And so a lot of the producers contacted us and were like, hey, we love your music. We want you guys to come on the show. And our first audition ever was in front of the celebrity judges. We didn't have preliminary rounds of producers. Our first audition was in front of Simon, Britney, Demi, and Reid. So it was an amazing experience, and it's something that I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
Awesome. So I understand that unfortunately you guys got cut during the judges audit during the second round of judge cuts. But however, I'm surprised I haven't seen you on shows like AGT or even Idol, both the Fox or the ABC version of it, or Songland or The Voice. Why did you not decide to pursue those shows?
I've been contacted by The Voice every year, and I have auditioned a couple times, and it just I don't think it was the right time or what the show was looking for at the time. But, those shows are always going to be around. I don't want to say the future won't hold that for me. I might do that in the future. But I think after doing the show, The X Factor, it kind of made me realize that I kind of want to pursue the path of just trying to find my own way, not necessarily with a TV show or anything like that, because a lot of times those shows control your outcome. Those shows control what you sing, how you present yourself. So a lot of times you kind of can lose yourself. So I've kind of been taking the path of, you know what, I'm going to release my own music. I'm going to kind of find my own way. And that way I can kind of have a little bit more control over what I'm doing. So.
Well, I commend you for at least being honest about that. And not a lot of artists that I've talked to have said what you said. So I commend you for that. And also, I think keeping the voice in the back pocket would be perfect as well.
Absolutely. I mean, those shows are great platforms and they're always going to be there. So maybe one of these days we'll see.
All right. So let's talk. You said charting your own way. So what have been some of the challenges that you faced throughout your career, and how did you overcome those obstacles?
One of the biggest challenges for me was moving to LA and leaving everyone and everything I've really ever known. Like I said, me and my twin brother did music together. So making that leap here was a huge leap of faith. I didn't have any way of knowing how I was going to live or where I was going to live, but I've always known that was going to be in the plans for me to move to LA. I said it since I was 13 years old. And the way that I really overcame that obstacle was just to kind of take the leap and just know that, that's where I'm meant to be. And it was definitely a struggle because I left my twin brother, which I was very comfortable with, doing music. And it just pushed me to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's really, to me, that's what's really forced me to overcome those obstacles of feeling kind of lonely and alone in a big city with a lot of people going after what I'm doing. You just kind of sometimes have to take that leap.
I agree completely, 100% agree with you, especially because I've also took that leap and went to New York City.
Yeah, I don't regret it a second because it's been the best thing I've ever done in my life.
I think when you go outside your comfort zone and go to different cities with only like a few familiar ties, I think it definitely tests you.
Oh, absolutely. It challenges you. It makes you uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, you grow. And that was my main goal.
Amen to that. So let's talk about your EP, Beginning of the End. It's a 6-track EP. I've actually picked up, I really love 2/3 of it. So it was great.
Amazing.
All right. So
why don't you love 100% of it? No, I'm just I did 2/3.
But because the 4 songs, I have 4 favorites tracks that I want to talk to you about because those resonated with me.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's start with I Won't Say I Love You. What is the story behind that song?
So that song was the last song that we wrote on the EP. That song was really about me starting into a new relationship after I'd already been really hurt in my past. And I think, it's a really relatable song because I think we've all been in that place where we feel like, I don't want to be vulnerable and say, I love you first. I don't want to be that person because what if this happened? What if somebody hurts me again? So that's really where that song came from. We were sitting one night and just throwing concepts around. And that was the situation that I was in, is I was like, you know what, I'm in this relationship right now and I do not want to be vulnerable. I want to keep my guard up. So that's where that song was born.
All right. So when I saw the phrase "never enough," I thought immediately of Lauren Allred or Kelly Clarkson, of you sing that song. So, however, that's not the Pasek and Paul's track. That's your own track.
Right. Never Enough is a song about my past relationship and feeling like no matter how hard I tried, no matter what I did, it just nothing was ever good enough. Nothing was ever enough. And, I think a lot of us have been there where we feel like we're the only ones pulling in the relationship, and ultimately it just didn't work. So that's where that song came from.
And it also can be said for not just relationships, but also friendships as well.
Absolutely. It can be related to anything, but even family ties. And a lot of times we feel like there's nothing we can do that makes our parents happy. So yeah.
Or other relatives as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All righty. So All By Myself, I was thinking you were going to sing the Eric Carmen, Celine Dion track. Again, you surprised me, and it's the original version. So what is the story of All By Myself?
So All By Myself was really about, to me, I call it the single anthem, because it was me getting out of or being in a relationship that I didn't really want to be in, and just wanting to be alone again, wanting to really celebrate going out and not having to call someone and be like, okay, it's time to come home, or, just being single. So that's what that song is. It's celebrating being, all alone.
All righty. So the final track, Sex with a Stranger. I just saw the YouTube music video for it, and boy, it is freaky.
It is a weird video.
So what's the story behind Sex with a Stranger?
So Sex with a Stranger is not as promiscuous as it sounds. It's actually about, being in a relationship with someone and feeling like you don't know who this person you're sleeping next to anymore is. The producers had this idea of me waking up every morning in that metaphor of, in the video, I wake up next to all of these random characters, and it's just playing on that metaphor that I'm waking up to a person that might as well be all these random people in my bed, because it's like I'm with a stranger. So that's where that song was born.
All right. So who are your dream collaborators, singers, songwriters, and producers, and how would they enhance your sound, Josh?
I have so many artists that I want to work with. I always say I like to work with artists that are maybe a little bit different from me and would challenge me to go into maybe another area of music that maybe I'm not as comfortable with. So I always say like artists like Cardi B or Megan Stallion or somebody in the rap world would be amazing to work with. Obviously, I have my favorites like John Legend. I'd love to write with Ryan Tedder from One Republic, Coldplay, like the list goes on, but those are some major ones I'd love to work with.
And those are pretty good singer-songwriters. They're at the top of their game, especially Ryan Tedder and definitely Chris Martin as well.
Yeah. I'm always attracted to artists that not only perform their songs, but are songwriters and play instruments. So that's always appealing to me.
I would love to see you on a Sia track.
On a Sia track, I would love to do that too. I'm a big Sia fan.
Same with me, and I also see you with Max Martin, one of the kingmakers when it comes to for our generation. We all grew up listening to "Baby One More Time." I want it that way. It's my life. That's the way it is.
Oh, absolutely. Max Martin is somebody that I plan on for sure writing with in the future.
All righty. So what are some of your favorite social media platforms, and like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and how do they stand out?
You know what? My favorite lately, believe it or not, is TikTok. It's just been in the last couple of months that I've really taken on it, and I have fallen in love with it. I love the idea that it's so real, and I feel like you don't get that from a lot of other platforms like Instagram, where everyone's just kind of putting their perfect face forward, and it's like this, photo album of what everyone wants everyone to see. Whereas TikTok is just kind of unedited and unfiltered, and I don't know. I love singing and doing duets with random singers and writers. I think they figured out a really cool way to bring other artists together. I mean, the fact that I can go on there and sing with John Legend and do a duet, I mean, you can't beat that.
And besides, that's perfect. Now, if you save that video and then hand it over to his representative, okay, they can say, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's so cool about the time we're in now. I can sit there and do a duet with him. Somebody sees it and boom.
Yeah, now I haven't even gone on TikTok yet, so I've been a little bit scared. So if you were, for me or anybody in my audience who want to try TikTok, what are some of your best advices that you have when it comes to creating videos?
I think with TikTok, the best advice you can do is be yourself. Like the more unedited, the more unfiltered is the best. Yeah, I think that, and to me, if you're scared to do it or you're not sure about it, just do it. Like honestly, just do it. That's kind of, I used to be that way where I was like, I don't know if I want to do this because I don't know if people want to see this side of me. And honestly, people do. People want to see the real authentic version of everyone. And I think TikTok does a really good job of honing that in with each person.
Who knows what 2021 would be? I might be even on TikTok.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Okay, so speaking of 2021, so what can my audience expect for you as 2021 begins?
2021 begins. Well, for sure, we're going to be doing a lot of performances and shows. I'm just hoping that 2021 allows us to do that and that the pandemic kind of calms down a bit where we can open some venues. And I have been just going crazy wanting to perform these songs live. So definitely that in 2021. I want to release some new singles in 2021, maybe some music videos. So definitely a lot in the future.
Awesome. Now, one of my final questions I have is this. If you had the opportunity to meet with singer-songwriters who are just about ready to enter this journey, what advice would you share with them as they prepare to enter the recording industry?
I think it's just important as a writer, as a singer, just to kind of really know yourself and what you want. It's so easy to be swayed in this industry with everyone telling you what direction to go, and really there's no answer. You know the right way to go. You know, there's TV shows, there's producers. You're going to have people coming out of the woodworks, and I think it's really understanding what you want. And once you know that, it's, you know, you're on your path and nobody can really sway you. So
Alrighty, so Josh, where can my audience find your music and, more importantly, connect with you on the World Wide Web or on social media?
So you can find my music at Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, really anywhere music is streamed, you can find my music. It's also available on TikTok and Instagram. You can use the music in your videos. And as far as social media, you can find me at the tag Josh Olsen Music. So if you're searching for me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, it's all Josh Olsen Music.
Awesome. Now, guys, for more, if you want to download more episodes of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, there are episodes on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. So head there and type in Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR, and in podcast, you'll find episodes like including my conversations with like English, Anna Graceman, Andrew DeLeon, my one-on-one with Prince Poppycock, and legends from Survivor like Rob Cesternino and Ethan Zahn, and Big Brother icon Rachel Riley. All of those interviews are on Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. So right now, head over to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube channels and follow me at Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR. Once again, Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR. Now, if you want to find my review on Josh Olsen's Beginning of the End, head to jakes-take.com for more articles, more interviews, and plus the podcasts are also, some of them are also up there as well, including our video conversation and our audio conversation. So once again, jakes-take.com. Josh, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me. I really think you have a really good thing going, and I really hope that for 2021, you have a lot of success heading your way.
Thank you, Jacob. Same to you. I appreciate it.
All righty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a fantastic day. Bye.